It is time for the Inside Edge Hockey News Radio Show. Your home for National Hockey League news, information, and opinions. It is an exciting and often controversial approach to the great game of hockey. Get ready for breakdowns of current hockey topics. It's a no-holds-barred approach to happenings throughout the hockey world. And now, your host from Inside Edge Hockey News, Brad Burud.
Welcome to another edition of the Inside Edge Hockey News Radio Show, episode 14th, recorded on December 14th, 2018. And today's going to be a different show than what we normally do. Normally we're talking hockey, talking about games, talking about situations, talking about players, trades, who's hot, who's not. None of that today. We have something else we want to talk about, and that's Christmas. And getting ready for Christmas hockey style. What gifts do hockey fans want? Now, I know most of you that are listening, you're the fan. These are the gifts that are out there for you. And you need to pass these along to your family and friends. Because I think most of these, real hockey fans would love. So we'll go through that and we'll talk a little bit about Christmas gifts. And we have a great interview with author Howard Shapiro. He has a new book that was just released called Kate's Really Good at Hockey. A great hockey, life-related book for the young readers. Something that you can get your kids and get your kids interested in reading. Howard's a great guy, and I think you'll enjoy that interview. And then we'll move on and we'll ask the listeners, what are their best hockey-related Christmas gifts? And that's always fun, because I think each and every one of us hockey fans can think back to that Christmas where we opened up the gift and it made our year. I like to thank our sponsors, Hockey Community. If you need to find a pickup game, find a goalie, need some used equipment, find a tournament. You got a great men's league team and you want to find a tournament up in the Vancouver area or to go to, these are the guys. Hockey Community, a great place where hockey players and hockey fans can network, because there's a lot of great information on that site. Check it out at hockeycommunity.com, and we appreciate their sponsorship.
Hockey Community, a social media website dedicated just for hockey. It's a one-stop shop in searching for games, players, stick and puck, tournaments, and yes, goalies.
It is time to talk Christmas gifts and hockey Christmas gifts. These are the perfect gifts. I've spent some time in the last couple of weeks going through and thinking about things I have that I use every day for hockey or things I really want, and compiling a list of great gift ideas for a hockey fan. I broke it out into 4 categories. The ultimate gifts, kind of the $500 plus ones. The super fan gifts, the $1 to $500. The classic gifts, kind of $20 to $100. And then some stocking stuffers that are some great little things that every hockey fan would like to see from Santa Claus in their stocking come Christmas morning. Let's start with the big ones first. And there is some bigger than others here. I'll start with the lowest one in my ultimate gifts, and that is game-worn jerseys. I've started collecting some jerseys, and I've got some game stuff, and I love autograph stuff, but game stuff is one-of-a-kind stuff. And there's a website called Meigray Group, M-E-I-G-R-A-Y Group, and they have the coolest, they have all sports, but they have the coolest hockey section of game-worn stuff. They have from every team. I have found prices. They have some wonderful deals on there. I pointed one out to my wife last night that I'm like, wouldn't mind having this game jersey. But they have jerseys anywhere from literally marked down to from $200 up to $5,000. Game-worn jerseys. These are one-of-a-kind game-worn jerseys. And that's really cool to have displayed in your hockey man cave. That's the first the first big gift. The second one is what we talk about, and we will talk about it later on in the show in the fan gift idea thing. And that's tickets. Now, NHL.com's got ticket sites. You can get tickets to other games. But there's some other things that are really interesting. Elite Sports Tours has a website that has wonderful accommodations and ticket packages for every NHL team. And some bus tours and things like that. Great stuff. Another one is called Road Trips. That is a company out of Winnipeg. And I'll tell you what, they take care of you. I have taken 2 road trips. I wish they did these still because I would go on one every single year. And what they were is I took a West Coast trip where we flew to Vancouver, went to a game in Vancouver. We flew to Calgary then, went to a game in Calgary, bus up to Edmonton, went to a game in Edmonton, bus back to Calgary, and went to a game in Calgary. That's a road trip. 4 hockey games in like 6 nights. Was an amazing week of hockey. I took another one from Road Trips. That was we flew out to Montreal, went to a game in Montreal, drove to Toronto, went to a game in Toronto, went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, went down to New York City, went to an Islanders game and a Rangers game, spent a couple days in the Big Apple, went up to Buffalo, went to a game there, and flew home. Great time with other hockey fans, and that was through Road Trips, and I wish they still did some of those group multi-city tour type things, but they'll definitely hook you up on the individual game stuff. The third and the ultimate gifts is from a website called Goalie Mask Collector. Now, I ran across this website because I've always wanted a Mika Kiprusoff goalie mask. I have yet to find one, but these guys have signed goalie masks, game-worn used goalie masks, replica paint job goalie masks. They've got everything that you want from goalie masks. And a lot of them are autographed, authenticated. I mean, it's the real deal goalie masks. Some of the signed autographed ones, they got some great Eddie Belfour stuff. What a classic mask that is. And most of those are in that $1,500 range. Now, they have goalie masks that are game-worn stuff. They are priced up to $100,000. You can get yourself, if you want it, on this website. You go under game-worn, game-used goalie mask, and you can get yourself a Martin Brodeur game-used New Jersey Devils goalie mask that he wore for 6 seasons, 4 Vezinas, 1 Stanley Cup, $100,000. There's Grant Fuhr ones, there's Henrik Lundqvist ones, some Eddie Belfour, Patrick Waugh. They've got it all. Some unbelievable stuff. One-of-a-kind Hall of Fame type things. And the last one, this is the good old go-to. Every kid loved playing bubble hockey. And now that we are adults, what's better than having one of these in your house? You can get these custom made. You can have whatever 2 teams in the National Hockey League playing against each other. There's other leagues. I know they work with the American Hockey League. There's the old classic USSR. They have it all. I mean, it is as good as it gets for Christmas gifts. I mean, what's better Christmas morning than playing a game of bubble hockey with your family? Those bubble hockeys run anywhere from, most of them are in that $2,800 to $3,400, depending on the customizations and the things you do there. Those are the big Christmas gifts in that ultimate gift category that I've narrowed down. Just some amazing stuff there. Let's move down into the super fan. And let's start off with the classic, the one we had as a kid. We just got done talking about bubble hockey. I didn't get a bubble hockey when I was a kid. I don't even know if you could get them. I mean, I know they had them, but it was like the elite of the elite. Like, I remember playing them at the old Ralph Ingalls Center Arena in Grand Forks, North Dakota. They had one. We played it every time we went to a game there. But it wasn't something like you found at homes like you do now. But back then, we played table hockey games from Stiga. I have got my old ones from when I was a kid, but now you can get them still any NHL teams. I know they have some custom teams that are out there now too and everything, but most of those run $120. Super gift idea for your kids. You can get stands for them. You can get everything for them. That's at Stiga.com. Great stuff. Another great super fan gift is the original sauce kit. And I don't know if you've ever played with one of these. They're $160 at Google original sauce kit. They are awesome. They have a board you shoot off of into these tiny nets. Great backyard game, or a game when you're at the lake or whatnot to work on your hockey skills and have a little bit of fun. A classic gift that I would recommend for anybody, and it's one that we talked about, a little while ago, and that's autographed jerseys. Now, for those that can't afford the game used stuff, the Frozen Pond in Toronto, it's frozenpond.com, has an amazing selection of autographed pro weight jerseys. I've got some from there myself that are amazing. Everything's authentic. These guys are top of the line. You can get a game weight, the pro jerseys autographed from most players in the league, not all, but most, for anywhere from $299 up to $800,000. Great website. Amazing stuff on there. And that's at Frozen Pond. A gift that I'm asking for this year, this is one of them that I want, and that's a cornhole set. Bags, there's a whole bunch of different names for this. It's where you throw the bean bag onto the wooden platform with the hole in the middle. Now, Victory has an amazing selection of National Hockey League ones. It's called victorytailgate.com. Check their website out. They have NFL, NBA, NHL, NCAA. When you click on the NHL, you can pick whatever team you want. And then when you go to that team, it has got a listing of under their cornhole set, and it shows different designs. So most teams have 6 or 7 different logo designs that you can choose from. And they are well-made products. Bunch of different accessories to go with them, matching bags, just top of the line, and that's at victorytailgate.com. Definitely check that out. Now, on to the last superfan gift, and this is one that I use more than anything else when it comes to hockey stuff, and that's my subscription to NHL TV and my Apple TV. Apple TV's app for the NHL is amazing. You select your favorite team, and it has all the highlights. Every night I can pull up my favorite team. It'll have the game on if it's live. If not, it's got stats. It's got player stats. It's got highlights from previous games. It's got archive for all the old games. It's amazing. Buy the NHL TV subscription and get yourself one of the new Apple TVs. They are top notch. They look amazing. The picture quality is great. You can watch. The thing I like about it is I can watch my team on their channel. So I get the same announcers every night. So you get used to them and you feel comfortable watching your favorite team's announcers. NHL TV brings you that. The subscription's $139 for the season. That lets you watch every game in the National Hockey League. Amazing value. Get yourself the new Apple TV. Those are $150 to $300. Great gifts. Now it's time to move on to those everyday classic gifts for the NHL fan. First one I'm going to announce, One-Timer Hockey t-shirts. Go to One-Timer Hockey. You can check that out at our website, Inside Edge Hockey News. They do sponsoring with us some great fun hockey t-shirts. I got a really cool one for Vancouver Canucks, says Lose for Hughes. They've got just a variety of different ones, and they're adding new ones each and every month. Check those out. Most of them run about $20. They offer some specials around the Christmas season. The next one is a Stanley Cup mug. And now what this is it's a mug for beer or pop or whatever you want to put in that is shaped exactly like the Stanley Cup. It is cool. You can find it at hockeycup.com. I know they have it on Amazon too. It's 25 ounces. Put your favorite beverage in there. It's made of clear, break-resistant plexiglass. It's a cool mug. It'll hold up for you. really a talking point for a hockey fan, and one to sit down and drink your favorite beverage every night you watch your team play. Moving on to the third, got 3 more to go in this classic gifts. The next one is from Mission Belts, and I don't know if any of you have a Mission belt. I just ordered myself one because I found this. I work with a guy that's got one, and it raves about it and loves it. And now they have them with NHL team logos. You can get almost every NHL team belt buckle, and in the belt, they come in some different color options depending on, like Nashville has a yellow one and a blue one. San Jose is a really cool, like grayish teal colored one, and then a black one. $49. You can find that at Mission Belts. Highly recommend that. I just got one coming to myself. I know they have some specials out right now for the holiday season. Great gift idea. High quality belts. They hold up, they last, and most of all, they're functional. They're easy to wear. You don't have to worry about finding the exact right loop depending on where you're there, what day, and if your pants are a little tight that day or whatever. You can just adjust it, and it fits comfortably every single day. So find that at missionbelts.com and get yourself an NHL team logo. And they're $49, so a real good value there. The next one is, quite honestly, probably one of my favorite gifts that you can give a hockey fan. And that's from summerskates.com. What it is it's a sandal with hockey laces as your support on the top. And they've got it all now. They have the old originals where you can get black, red, blue, and yellow, I believe. Those are the colors. And white, of course. Now they have where you can get NHL players where it has the NHL player embroidered and the player's number embroidered. Great look. You can also do custom logos. They have low minimums, just great stuff. The originals run at that $30 range, and the NHL player ones are at that $40 range. Well worth it. I wear mine all the time in the summer. They hold up. They fit good. After you wear them for a couple weeks or week, they mold kind of to your foot. A great gift idea, and I got to get myself another pair this year. Now the fifth and final one in the classic gifts, as we're already rolling through all of these gifts, but the last one in the classic is a gift that, it's a gift that a hockey fan will use every day. Now, there's a website called The Athletic. They have, what I like about The Athletic is it's different than going on to some other great websites like NHL.com or SportsCenter or whatever, but their articles on there are in-depth articles. They go inside and they have gathered some of the greatest hockey writers in the U.S. and Canada. Every team is covered now, and they just have some stories that you're not going to see on your everyday sports website. Top-notch, very interesting articles. It is a subscription-based. Subscriptions are $48. Now, you can give the gifts. They're advertising like crazy this week. Get on there, theathletic.com. They've got some super deals. I've seen discounts all the way up to 50% for gifting it. Very good pricing. When it's something that they have numerous articles that are released on that every single day, and I look at it every morning or every night when I'm laying in bed. I'll read an article, but I highly recommend it, and that's theathletic.com. That wraps up the classic gift category. Now it's time, as I take a drink, and that was 10 times louder than I thought it was going to be. Let's move into the stocking stuffers, and this is where it gets a little bit fun. We'll roll through these pretty quickly. I got 5 of them that I want to talk about. The first one being mini NHL figures, 2.5-inch figures put out by Import Dragons. They retail at $10. You can get them at Walmart's, I know. They come in a package where you don't see who you're getting, so it's fun. And you can open it up, and who knows, you might pull out a limited edition Nathan McKinnon or a John Tavares or whatnot. But they have these 3-inch ones that are just really cool, and numerous different players available. And that's, you can check them out at NHLfigures.com. put out by Import Dragons. You can find them. I know at Walmart's have them, and that's a great stocking stuffer for that young hockey fan. Another one was a go-to when I was a kid, and that's Panini hockey stickers. You buy the book for $2, and then you buy the pack. I think there's like 6 or 8 stickers in a pack. I don't know, maybe there's less now, but that was what it was when I was a kid. Stickers price were like $1 a pack. And then you build and you stick them in the book. For each team has a page, and you build the book, and you try to collect them all just like you do hockey cards. It was a little cheaper version, and it was kind of fun because the book always had, vibrant colors and cool pictures of your team, and they'd have Stanley Cup things and all kinds of different stickers. And it was always real fun as a kid to collect those, and you can still get them. So go out and get your kids a Panini hockey sticker book and help them put that together, and it's a great time spent with your young hockey fan. The next two are from a company called In Glasgow, and they produce the NHL game pucks. And if you're a true fan of, let's say, the Nashville Predators or the San Jose Sharks, you should have a game puck sitting in your house. How cool is it to have the actual puck that they use in games? You can't usually go and catch them at a game. That's a lot harder than you'd think it would be. You can go get yourself one. Game pucks, $12. They come in a nice acrylic case. Set that up on top of your TV set and support your team as you watch them on TV. The fourth one is NHL puck coasters. They're made just like a hockey puck, only it separates into 4 different coasters with 4 different logo designs from In Glasgow also. And that's at $15. A perfect stocking stuffer for any hockey fan to have sitting on the end table to put their Stanley Cup mug that you purchased for them for Christmas on as they watch their favorite team on NHL TV. The last and final gift that I'm going to talk about is one that I recently bought and read, and that is a book called Calling the Shots, the Ups, Downs, and Rebounds, My Life in the Great Game of Hockey by Kelly Rudy, the old Los Angeles Kings goalie, a commentator on Sportsnet, follows with the Calgary Flames. The book is great. It's entertaining. It's funny. It's insightful. Talks a lot about just everything in life and hockey. And Kelly Rudy is just an amazing guy. And this book is a must read. That can be picked up on Amazon for $22. Just a great read, and one that I would recommend any hockey fan take the time to gift it or get the gift yourself. That'd be one to tell your wife, hey, I wouldn't mind reading this book, and see if she doesn't take the hint and get that for your Christmas gifts. We hope everybody has a happy holidays.
Inside Edge Hockey News, bringing you inside the game.
We'd like to welcome to the show hockey author Howard Shapiro. It's Christmas time, and it's time for books and young hockey fans, and this book is the perfect gift idea. Welcome, Howard, to the show. The book is called Kate's Really Good at Hockey, and we'd like to welcome you.
It's great to be on. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, tell us a little bit about the book.
The book just came out about 3 weeks ago, right at the end, right before Thanksgiving, and it's actually a retcon of a self-published book that I did back in 2007 called Hockey Days, which was about my father and I. This after he passed away, and I did it as a kind of a for my kids who so they had better memories because before he passed away, and but it was about how hockey brought him and I together when I was growing up, and we really bonded that way, and it was a bond that really lasted, for my whole life, basically, from when I was a teenager onward into my 40s before he passed. And so what we wanted to do was basically retcon it. So again, going from a son and a father and a grandfather to daughter, mother, and grandmother. So we kind of flipped it around a little bit. And it came together really well. It was a lot of fun to do, and I worked with a really good team. People, three people who weren't the biggest hockey fans, so I kind of had to take that mantle and kind of script things out on the hockey side. But then, we had the mother-daughter relationship through my co-author, Christina Fry, and the illustrator and the colorist were awesome to work with. So it was a lot of fun to do.
Well, the book is about a young girl that goes to a hockey camp in Denver. That's correct, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about what struggles this young hockey player goes through in the book.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of like her local. She's comes from Tennessee, and I chose Tennessee just because I wanted to kind of go with a non-hockey, per se, a hockey area. A traditional area, Boston, Minnesota, Michigan, those areas, and kind of pick one off the map. Which I chose Tennessee because of I'm a Pittsburgh resident, and when the Pens were playing the Preds 2 years ago in the Stanley Cup, to see the way the Tennessee and Nashville became a hockey area, a hockey town. So that was really fun to see. So, but anyway, yeah, she goes out there. It's kind of it's set up as an elite summer camp for hockey players from around the world, girls who are between 10 and 13 years old. And she kind of she doesn't want to stay with her grandmother, and so because she doesn't really feel like she knows her that well, and she's not into hockey like she is. Kate is the character, and then she runs into a very tough coach, three sisters who from Quebec who kind of quasi bully her, through the games, the scrimmages they have. But she does meet a lot of friends there too, from around the world. So she's kind of dealing with all these different things. Like, she's not the best player around. She's getting quasi bullied in scrimmages and through the drills and all that kind of thing. And so it really kind of questions, should I stay at this camp or just, kind of quit and move on and go back home? So it's kind of that dilemma. I think, sometimes elite players go through that when they have their first taste of serious competition, and so it was a fun dynamic to kind of write about.
With this being a book about a young girl, do you feel that this book is appropriate and something that young boys would be interested in reading too?
That's a great question, and I've had that through when we did the promo tour for the book. I really do, because I think that the things are kind of universal, and you really one of the other hockey books I did was called Hockey Player for Life, and it was in some kind of a similar vein in that the kid 13-year-old kid goes to Canada playing on an all-star team. And really loses his love for the game because he's challenged. And, it's one of those things I think that happens. The Kate book's more of a family thing than that was more kind of nuts and bolts hockey, but yeah, I think boys could really enjoy it. Just like I think girls could have liked Hockey Player for Life. It's not, it's really a family dynamic and friends, and boys and girls at that age kind of go through some of the same things, peer pressure and all those kind of things, and bullying. And so yeah, it's a good question though, because I really think it's kind of universal, and it's really, it's one of the few books I think, if any of the grandparents that are listening, it really depicts the mother and grandmother in a respectful way, and not how a lot of books, where especially like a senior citizen, where they're kind of depicted as like out of touch and all that kind of thing. I mean, her grandmother's a really cool character, and she has a lot of respect for her, and so that but I think it's good for both boys and girls.
What age group are you gearing this book towards?
Yeah, so it's really for 8 to 12. Although we do deal with some without giving spoilers away, we deal with some more mature. There's some things in there that could even go up to like 13, 14. But yeah, the core group is 8 to 12-year-olds.
Perfect. You've mentioned that you've written some other hockey-related books. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. Yeah. So I mentioned Hockey Days and Hockey Player for Life. Those are a kid's book, a kid's picture book, and then Hockey Player for Life was middle grade novel. And then I did 2 graphic novels, The Hockey Saint and Hockey Karma. Those came out in 2014 and 2016. And so Kate's my 5th book, so 5th hockey book. So it's one of those things. I mean, I tell this to people, it's like they're hockey books, but they're not like kind of like the Matt Christopher, if you know those kind of books, where it's like, all about the game and kids scoring, whatever. I mean, they're Hockey Player for Life, again, kind of dealt with peer pressure and, just that weird age when you're 13, all the things you go through. And Hockey Saint was about, kind of the overemphasis of sports, and and Hockey Karma was about aging, and there was also stuff in there about gender discrimination, and so we kind of touch on. I try and work a lot of different things in, and not just have it be cookie cutter. Kid scores a goal, wins the Stanley Cup or the championship, and those kind of things. So so they have a lot of depth to them, I feel, and they were a lot of fun to do. And it's funny when I go up to Canada. There's hockey books everywhere.
Yeah.
Down here, it's not as much, which is. I know you're up way north, so maybe you might have more in your area, but that's the reason I even started doing them, because there were no kids hockey books for my sons back when they were like 6 and 7 years old. So
yeah, there really isn't. I buy a lot of books for my kids, and I have a 9-year-old daughter that really likes to read, and there isn't a lot of hockey books out there. Or you're right, there are most of them that are out there are the cookie cutter, and it sounds like you're really trying to have a message with your story.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, and that's exactly it. The thing, because I look, when I played, I was a terrible player. I came into it late, and I was just a kind of a mucker and grinder, not very good at all. But the things that I learned from playing were things that I took through my whole life. Any success I've had, in my mind, I owe it to hockey, learning how to be a teammate, how to work hard, all those things that the game teaches you more so, I think, than baseball or football or basketball. Nothing against those sports, but it's just the things I learned and the friendships I developed, which I, to this day, 40 years later, still keep on. And it's just, I think the game, again, can teach you so much. And that's why I try and bring out, it's not, again, just kind of just, who wins the cup or who scores the most goals and things like that. I just think hockey really, you can learn so many life lessons from playing. That's always been my thought. So they're hockey books, but they're not necessarily, strictly about the game. The game's definitely there and it's part of the story, but it's not the main focus.
Yeah, hockey does teach a lot of life lessons, and the hockey family is a tight hockey family too. So, and that's always really, really nice. What is the main message you're trying to send your readers in this book? Kate's really good at hockey.
I think just to stay with it, and again, for the age group that it's aimed at, which is 8 to 12-year-olds, as you mentioned, to be respectful and have admiration for your parents and your grandparents, especially. I think that you kind of get in the mode. Again, my kids to this, they're both 19 now, but they always like, oh well, grandpa doesn't have Wi-Fi, or this, that, or the other. And there's so much more, and they have so much experience, and that's what Kate. It's like one of my favorite scenes in the book when she asks her grandmother about when her grandmother played hockey in the 50s. And she's like, I know you don't like to talk about it, but can you tell me some stories? And, she doesn't, and things like that. It was a real sweet, part of the book. And so, yeah, I think that to me, it's a good question as well. It's mainly to be respectful and learn to have admiration and respect for the people who came before you, and your parents as well as your grandparents.
With the timing of this coming out right before Christmas, it really sounds like the perfect gift idea. And I encourage young hockey fans to read. Reading's so important, and you're right. I do think a lot of that's lost with Wi-Fi and computers and iPads and whatnot. And I know it always makes me happy when I see my kids picking up a good old-fashioned book and reading it and actually getting some enjoyment out of it. Tell us a little bit about what other things you do in the hockey world.
I've been very fortunate. I've met so many people through it. It's really been, I didn't start writing or publishing until I was in my 40s. So it's really been kind of a real neat little second career and second phase of my life. So, again, just meeting some incredible people. I'd like to get actually back into the game. I'm not sure if you play, but I'm over in the over 50 range now, so I'm hoping to get back into a league at some point. And I love the game so much. We're being here in Pittsburgh. It's just to see the way the game's exploded over the years, really since Mario came to town in the early 80s. It's been really amazing, and but yeah, I just love watching games and texting my friends and, being a fan.
Yeah, hockey is something that it bonds a lot of people, and it really sounds like this book depicts that. And I really It's a great Christmas gift, and we got time to go out and get it. It's available on Amazon. That is correct at a really, really good price. And I encourage everybody to go out and get the book called Kate's Really Good at Hockey. And Howard, we really appreciate you joining the show today, and a show themed about Christmas gifts and gift ideas for the hockey fans. So it fit perfectly with what we were doing this week on the show.
Well, I appreciate it, Brad. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed catching the show. And yeah, for sure. I mean, it's as you mentioned, it's pretty inexpensive, and it's a fast read. So especially really good for maybe kids who aren't or were termed reluctant readers, especially boys. And yeah, so it's fast read, and just something that you find something that you're interested in hockey. It's definitely something for kids. So, but I appreciate it. It's been great to be on with you.
Inside Edge Hockey News, bringing the NHL to the fans.
Let's roll right into this week's Twitter question. We run this show every 2 weeks, and we always pose a Facebook question or a Twitter poll because we want to hear what the listeners think. Your opinions matter a lot to us, and we love talking about them and thinking about them, and sometimes it changes our opinion here at the show. Question this week, pose it on Twitter. What is the best hockey-related Christmas gift that you have received? Well, we've all got some, and I got some really good response on this. A lot of it were tickets to National Hockey League games. With the price of tickets now, it's not always something that's affordable for everybody. And a lot of times we get to go to these games and get to do these fun things because of the gifts of the people from other people that we love. I can think of a couple times that I was able to get tickets to an NHL game and how fun and exciting that is to be ready to go. I remember one time, I think it was 2006. Yes, it was the World Juniors in Grand Forks, and it was the World Juniors that there was a lockout. So everybody good was there. I mean, it was Crosby versus Ovechkin. Malkin was in it. If you look at Team Canada's roster with Corey Perry, Dion Phaneuf, it is the most... Patrice Bergeron, there's tons of them. Shea Weber. I mean, I could go on and on. Was the most star-studded roster ever. I remember waking up Christmas Day. I was in my 20s. My buddy and I got in the car. I live about 3 hours from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Hopped in the car and drove to the great hockey city of Grand Forks and stood out there on a Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day, and the first game that night was the U.S. versus Russia. U.S. versus Canada that night. And I remember seeing families sitting out in the courtyard out front of the beautiful Ralph Engelstad Arena, where they had Christmas trees set up outside, and families were huddled around opening Christmas gifts as they waited to go in to watch the big battle and the fun that ensued in that next week and a half as I went and watched every game except for 2, I believe, in that whole World Juniors and spent that whole time in Grand Forks and just had a blast. That was a Christmas hockey that I really, really remember. Some of the listeners put in some other things other than tickets that I thought were good. I got a good one from my buddy Steve Bogdan. He wrote he got flight tickets and game tickets for a Saturday night game at the Bell Center in Montreal against Boston back in around 2000. Boy, is that is a trip of a lifetime for a Montreal Canadiens fan. I got another listener that an Islanders onesie. Now that, I'm glad you like it, but I've seen those onesies and they are very interesting. I guess would be a good way to sum it up. Another listener put in a Jack Eichel Winter Classic jersey. Boy, hockey jerseys are a great gift and something that a true fan always enjoys. Our last one that I'll mention was from another listener, Libby Shaves. She wrote, in a snow globe filled with water from the ice at the United Center after the 2013 Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Those are like once-in-a-lifetime things. That's something that she'll keep forever. Real cool gift idea, I thought. When I was a kid, looking at my personal gifts that really, really stand out, one of them was, when I was a kid, my dad was really, really cool with sports cards, whether it be football, baseball, or hockey. I collected all three. I was a big sports fan growing up. Mostly hockey later on in my junior and high school stage. But I would get cards from every sport, depending on what season it was. When hockey season came, I remember my dad, we did this for both baseball and hockey. I don't know, we didn't quite do it for football. Hockey kind of pushed into the whole football card season, I think. But my dad had this cool thing where every time when he came home from work, he would give me a pack of hockey cards as he walked in the door, or baseball cards during baseball season. I don't know why Dad started doing that, but it's something I've never forgotten, and I never will. I've told so many people that. And that's back when hockey cards were great. Back when they were a quarter pack and they had a gum in there. I mostly got Topps cards, because that's really all there was back in this time frame. Was in that 77 to 83 range was when he was doing that. I think 78, 79, and 80 were their big years, where I got full sets for both Major League Baseball and National Hockey League. And one Christmas, I remember him giving my mom and my dad giving me this. It was like a hockey card locker, and it opened up not like a book, but kind of like both sides, like a refrigerator. And there was slots for, at the time, I think there was like 20 teams or 22 teams, but there was a slot for every team in the National Hockey League. And what my dad and I would do would we'd collect that whole set, and I'd separate them into teams, and then I'd have my team cards. And then when we'd watch a game on TV, we'd have the cards and we'd talk about those players. And I remember how cool it was opening that gift and seeing, and then, not even so much the gift itself, but the fun I had with my dad separating all the cards, organizing them all, and putting them into that set and creating that set was really, really cool. Other Christmas gifts in the hockey related, I remember the World Juniors that I talked about earlier was a real special time, and being able to do that over the holidays and leaving and spending time doing what I love, and that's watching hockey. That's one that probably stands out more than any other one. And as we go into the Christmas holiday season, you always look for those gifts for your kids that they're going to remember for the rest of their life. And I thank my mom and dad for the gifts they gave me that were sports related that I've never forgot. So it was fun here from the fans and hear some of the great things and the great gifts they got.
Inside Edge Hockey News on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google+. Get connected.
Zaitsev's wrist shot deflected right on, they score! Wee Willie Nylander ties the game seconds after the DeBrusque goal!
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Inside Edge Hockey News Radio Show. A big thanks goes out to our sponsors, Hockey Community. Check out InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com for all your hockey news, and follow us on all forms of social media. Tweet us your questions and comments at Inside Edge Hockey, and most importantly, download the Inside Edge Hockey News Radio Show on your favorite podcatcher. We are on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeart, YouTube, and Spotify. Thank you for listening, and enjoy this week's hockey action.
Boy, are these guys fun to watch. Hello, he was flat. Wow. That's a statement. Another heartbreak in Boston for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Tired of calling or texting around looking for players for your hockey games? Upset that no one seems to respond to your email or even Facebook invites? Yeah, pretty frustrating, right? Lucky for you, there's Hockey Community, a social media website dedicated just for hockey. It's a one-stop shop in searching for games, players, stick and puck, tournaments, and yes, goalies. But there's more. As soon as you sign up, you will see every game and player updates within 50 kilometers of your location. Thanks to our innovative technology, rinks and leagues can connect their schedules to our site, and we'll show you what's happening around. Whether you want ice, roller, street hockey, or even floorball, you can connect with the sport anywhere you go and right from your pocket. Check out hockey-community.com now to see more.
Thanks for listening to the Inside Edge Hockey News Radio Show. We hope you'll pass along our website address, InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com, to your friends and colleagues. Check out the radio show archive on our website for previous radio shows. The website also features numerous articles, videos, and blog posts. This has been an Inside Edge Hockey News production. Join us next time for another entertaining edition of the Inside Edge Hockey News radio show.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.